Alright, so what we're going to do is create a random binary generator, and occasionally we'll input a 42069 in there. Great, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a new file inside of the directory that we're at. So I'm thinking of a fantastic file name right now, and that is, God, what's that one called? Truffle butter. And that is truffle butter. Great. Now that we have our new file, what we're going to do is we're going to put things in it. So we know that we're going to want to ask the user a question just to see how long they want their random binary to be. So we know that we're going to need inquire. So we're going to go ahead and just start off by importing inquirer as inquirer. Great, and we'll just do an npm install of inquirer. Fuck. Cool. While this is installing, what we're going to do is go ahead and just kind of start building out the function. So we're going to write our function a little bit different than we've written any function before here. And the way that we're going to do that is using a const, and it'll be the function name after that. So, great. So once we've named it, what we want to do is do the thing. And now that we've got it, we've got a function, and we can actually work with this. So, before I forget, we're just going to call the function. Fuck. We're just going to call that function right down here, or else nothing's going to happen. And now that we've got the function, I know that we're going to need an array to hold things. So I'll go ahead and create the array. Great. And from here, what we're going to do is, son of a bitch. Fuck. Great. So from here, what we're going to do is write out our inquirer.prompt, and we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to give it a type. And that type is going to be an input because we want to get some information. And then we're going to need a name, and that name is going to be something that we can reference it with, so perfect. And then we'll need a message, and this is going to be what we're actually prompting to the user. Great. So now that we've got that, what we can do is jump out and use a .then. And we know that this is going to give us some data, so we're just going to do that. Boom. We have access to that data now. What we'll do is we'll just go ahead and console log it out, just because that's what you should be doing. Son of a bitch. Why the fuck did I do that? We're going to let this install go. Great. And now what we're going to do is run this this file. Great. Wow, I had numlock on. Great. Cool, so you can see it console logs out longboy, which is the name of that prompt, and then it console logs out the value that we typed in for it. Awesome. What we can do now is say create a new variable called length. That way it's super dynamic. And what we'll do is we'll say data.longboy is equal to length. So we're essentially saying whatever number the user types in is the length variable now. Perfect. Just going to get rid of that console log, and in here we're going to go ahead and create that for loop. We're going to let I equal 0. I is less than or equal to length because we want this to loop, up until that length. And then we're going to say I is increasing because that's what we want. Great. So I'm just going to run a code formatter so that way I can actually read this bullshit. And we're going to hit enter after that because it fucking closed it. And now what we can do is create our if statements. And these if statements are going to control what we push into this array that we defined up here. So what we're going to say is if, let's see, if the random number that it gives us, oh, I don't have a random number yet. Great. Fuck. So what we can do is create a new variable and we'll call this one random number. And we'll just have this one equal a random number. So how do we do a how do we do a random number? Super easy. It's just going to be a math.floor of a math.random. Huh, you thought that was it? Fuck no, bitch. We're doing this times 100. Goddamn right. Cool. So this is just going to give us, what this code in here does is it gives us a random number between 0 and 1. This multiplies that bitch times 100, and then this just rounds it down to the nearest whole number. So if this gives us like 69.420, what this would do then is just round it down to 69. Glad you get it. Cool. So what we can do now is say if the random number that we just generated is equal to like, I don't know, 69, we're going to push into that array. We're just going to push a number into there. So in this case, we're going to say 42069. Great. And now we can have an else if random number, and I'm going to say random number modulus 2. So if the random number is divisible by 2 with no remainder, no other way around. So what we're going to say here is if random number modulus 2. So what this is saying is if random number modulus 2 is true. So if it's if you divide it by 2 and it has any remainder at all, it's going to hit this step. So we're going to say, son of a bitch. We're going to say push this into the array. So we're going to just push a 0 because we want this one to be basically binary. And it'll hit that route more or less half the time. And then we'll say if random number divisible by fuck. And then what we'll do is we'll just have this elf, and we'll say that array dot push, and we'll go ahead and push a 1 in there because I said so. Awesome. And now that we've got that, let's see. I think the next step would just be to console log out the contents of that array. So I'll just do this. Array name.join, and we'll join it on nothing. And cool. I think that we're good to give this guy a shot. Look at that. Great. So this is like super useful for like, I don't know, scaring your parents or like making your friends think that you're like a hacker or something. But as you can see, it has the exact expected outcome that we wanted. You can see right here we've got, you know, a good healthy dose of, 42069. So we know that that is working. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. I really do hate myself, but I love you. So you have a wonderful day.